صباح الخير مشاهدينا وين ما كنتوا عم بترافقونا عبر شاشة او تي في. برحب فيكم مجددا، انا جوال من امباسادورز كورنر. بيسعدني بهالمناسبة استضيف اليوم سعادة سفير بولندا في لبنان دكتور الكسندرا بوكوفسكا ماكابي. Dzień dobry.
صباح الخير.
Jak się masz؟
كل شيء تمام، شكرا.
اهلا وسهلا بكم سعادة سفير بولندا في لبنان. You're most welcome, Excellency Dr. Alexandra. Today we're going to have a virtual trip to Poland to know where is Poland located geographically speaking. As we know, it's the hub between or the crossroad between Western and Eastern Europe. The very beautiful Warsaw, the capital. Can you tell us more?
Yes, of course, and thank you very much for having me at this show. Yes, indeed, Poland is located in Central Europe, and it's at the crossroads of east and west and north and south, which gives us a lot of great opportunities, especially in the economic sense, to develop Polish economy and trade and commerce.
Yes.
But at the same time, in history, it was, and it still is, unfortunately, disadvantage when we talk about the political situation and the geographical location between the most important powers of the world, especially in the history.
So stretching back to history, and we're gonna open or fold this point later on during our show. We can say that the Polish people are very resilient, and when it comes to a lot of struggles that they have encountered or faced during the past, it was not easy for them. Like all the population who are making a lot of victory later on in their history, to say the least, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely, and this is one of the issues that we share with Lebanon, that our situation and our political and historical in that context situations is not easy, and in the past it wasn't easy. Poland was, as you probably know, even Poland disappeared from the map of the world for more than 120 years. That's
Total disappearing.
It means that Poland was divided between the three powers, Prussia, Russia, and Austria at that time. And during those over a century, we as Poles, as a nation, we kept our traditions, culture, religion. Religion was very important at that time because it was keeping us together. And due to this resilience and our faith in the future, we survived. And after 123 years, Poland reappeared again and gained independence.
And I believe this should be a very important message for all the population who are struggling through their historical turmoil, to say the least, if I'm allowed to say the word, to use the word turmoil. The royal castle, the Wilanów palace, that is floating over water. I've seen it when I was in Poland, in Warsaw last year, and the old town, it's an amazing place. All these are just beating within the heart of the capital Warsaw.
True.
And we know that the capital Warsaw is highly or skyrocketing with its cultural heritage, economy, and so on. What can you tell us,
Yes,
Excellency?
so Warsaw, but we need to remember that Warsaw is not the first capital of Poland. Before we had two other cities, capital of Kraków and in the old times Gniezno. And Warsaw became a Polish capital only in 16th century. So indeed we have wonderful buildings and places dating from the Renaissance even, and later on Romantism era. And those two places that you mentioned, Wilanów, which the name comes from the two French or Latin names, Villanova.
The new villa, if I'm
yes, because it was built for Polish kings as a kind of, let's say, summer residence. And indeed, there are beautiful other parks and castles. But for example, you mentioned also castle in Warsaw Castle. This place, as the whole old city in Warsaw, is not really old because it was Warsaw was completely destroyed during the Second World War.
Wow.
There was nothing left. There was 80% of the city was completely, there was nothing left, just dirt on the streets. So these buildings were rebuilt actually exactly according to the old plans from before the war.
And rebuilding it was not at all easy. It reflects the strengths of
Absolutely.
people. And how did you polarize high-end architecture and very professional ones in order to build it as you see? Because you have this mixture of architecture, you have the old and the new facing each other. Main cities in Poland.
Yes.
And now you're going to correct my pronunciation. It's very difficult for me to pronounce it. Krakow.
Kraków, yes.
Gdańsk?
Yes, Gdańsk.
This one is very difficult, Excellency. Wrocław?
Wrocław.
Oh my God, it's really different. Poznań?
Poznań, yes.
Łódź?
Łódź.
Okay, and we have to say that Poznań and Łódź today they are the cities where many Lebanese are studying medicine in it. Can you tell us
about those cities?
In a very
yes.
short way about these cities?
Yes, so it is also should be mentioned that Poland's borders have changed many times in the history. So, for example, those cities that you mentioned, like Wrocław, was not a Polish city before the war. Only after the Second World War, where the borders changed, it became Polish city. So that's why in those places, like
what were they before?
They were German cities.
Okay.
So that's why in those cities you can still see a lot of tradition and influence of German architecture, history, traditions, culture. So that's why they are very, very interesting. And also Kraków is a very interesting case because Kraków was not destroyed during the Second World War. So actually all those old parts of the city are authentic.
So they still have this historical significance, if I'm not mistaken, and cultural one.
Yes, very much so. And Kraków, of course, is also important for the Polish nations, but I also know for Lebanese because of the Pope Jean-Paul. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So he worked there. He studied there. There is still the very famous window. It's called Pope's window, where he used to speak to people from his
to people.
So until this day people gather there and pray next to his
very impressive.
Yes,
very impressive story. On Polish culture and identity, you have such a diverse cultural heritage and patrimony. Tell us more, Excellency.
Indeed, we have different in different categories, so to say. So, of course, very famous Polish composers, which are known also in Lebanon. It's Frédéric Chopin, and we also try to promote his music here on different music festivals, but also contemporary music.
True.
We had our great composer and conductor Penderecki also performing here in Baalbek, so it was a great show.
And the Sinfonietta Cracovia,
that's right.
If I'm not mistaken.
They played also during at that festival. We have also, of course, great painters and architects and.
Karol Szajer, Polish
yes.
architect.
Karol Szajer is another link between Poland and Lebanon. He was a Polish architect, modernism during the modernism period, and he worked in Poland, but later on he moved to Lebanon. And he worked
over 130 buildings, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. Also in Beirut, in Saida,
Tripoli.
In Tripoli, yes. Some of the buildings unfortunately don't exist anymore, but some of them do still. And we, as the embassy, we would like to commemorate and spread the information about his work and his input also and his influence over Lebanese architecture.
Allow me in a very short and concise way. Today I'm not working, you know, I'm a translator. However, I'm not going to make an accurate translation, but in brief about what you have said today, it's not a word by word translation. إذن ترجمة هيك باختصار. بولندا هي دولة تقع في وسط أوروبا. موقعها الجغرافي بيجعل من بولندا مفترق طرق بين أوروبا الشرقية والغربية. أكيد كلنا بنعرف انه وارسو هي العاصمه، بس مش اول عاصمه يلي شهدت عبر التاريخ، كان في عاصمه قبلها وما قبل. هي اكبر مدينه والقلب السياسي والاقتصادي والثقافي للبلد. أكيد وارسو بتشتهر بمعالمها التاريخية مثل القلعة الملوكية اللي تفضلت سعادة السفيرة وذكرتها، وقصر فيلانوف والمدينة القديمة. المدن الرئيسية ببولندا باختصار كمان تنربح وقت كراكوف، غدانسك، وروسلاف، بوزنان، لودز. ونحن بنعرف هن من أقدم المدن اللي موجودين ببولندا. بتشتهر أكيد هالمدن بأهميتها التاريخية والثقافية. أكيد لودز وبوزنان تردد لألون وما زال عم يدرس فيهم العديد من الطلاب اللبنانيين الطب، مهنة الطب. بولندا بتتمتع بإرث ثقافي غني. هالإرث بيمتد أكيد وبعود لآلاف السنين. فينا كمان نخبر عن المدن اللي هي مدن موجود فيها المباني الجديدة ومقابلة في المباني القديمة، الاركيتكتور إذا قلنا الهندسة المعمارية القديمة. فينا نحكي عن الموسيقى الكلاسيكية اللي بتتمتع فيها بولندا. أكيد هالشيء بيعود لمدى طويل فضلا للتقاليد الموسيقية الطويلة والكلاسيكية. مثلا بالعام 2010 قدمت أوركسترا سيمفونيتا كراكوفيا مع أشهر ملحن the most famous at the modern times who performed in the international بعلبك. What was his name again?
Penderecki.
He was Henry Penderecki. if I'm not mistaken. الملحن في العصر الحديث هنري بندرتسكي يلي قام بأداء مهرجان الموسيقى الدولي بعلبك. أكيد كمان we're gonna talk about the Polish identity and the national pride. How people today are maintaining a strong sense of pride and resilience. And as we see when we look at the flag and the emblem of the nation, we can see the eagle, if I'm not mistaken. Tell me more about this, Excellency.
So eagles, Polish eagle symbolizes also it comes from the very medieval times and it symbolizes the strength and independence and freedom as well. And of course we have to know that for a very long time during the communist time the eagle was deprived of its crown on the flag because it was a connection then at that time during the communist times to the past, which was not welcomed.
Yes.
So now we restore the crown to the eagle, so we have eagle with the crown on the flag. So yes, indeed, Polish people have been always very resilient, and as I mentioned
despite
before,
all challenges.
Yes, and during the historical period of absence of Poland on the world's geographical map, we conducted several uprisings. There was a constant fight for independence. Also during communist times, this was also a very important issue, and that's why Poland was the first country to break through the Iron Curtain because of our drive to regain independence.
This is amazing. It's very impressive how resilient are the people, and they always fight to achieve better results and performance.
Yes, but now fortunately nowadays we don't have any threats, so to speak, to fight for. Of course, we need to keep up our strength, and this is very important also for Lebanese people, not to give up.
not to give up. عدم الاستسلام, definitely. Excellency, in your capacity as Ambassador of Poland to Lebanon, Dr. Alexandra, today, can you share some insights about the main assistant aid programs that you are just trying to focus on first in your capacity, as I said, as an ambassador and the staff, the personnel of the embassy? How are you striving today? You see, and you know that Lebanon needs a lot of assistance in some areas, especially within the latest times. What are you doing, and how many projects have you embarked upon so far?
So Lebanon is one of the priority countries for Polish Ministry of Foreign Affairs in regard to the development aid. So we have different kinds of support for Lebanon. We have very large programs which are run by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but also we have smaller grants which are run by the embassy, and this is our priority.
Let's go to the 6 small grants yet.
Yes.
More or less 6 that you have implemented so far.
Because every year we have about 5-6 grants, and we have several areas that we focus on, and among those,
these areas?
Yes, we have education and support for environment, waste management. Also, we care about people who are vulnerable in different...
the most vulnerable communities and societies, true. And what's about infrastructure, if you can tell us, and waste management? Are you focusing on these too?
Yes, we do, and it's been a priority for us for the last few years, and this year we're going to also to run certain projects to help Lebanon with environment protection.
Let's say that in 2024 you have implemented 6 small grants. If I'm not mistaken, if I am mistaken, correct me, Excellency. So installation of a solar panel system on the roof of the health center in Shartoun, Lebanon, first. Lighting installation of public football pitches in Alay, Lebanon. Installation of a solar system at Notre Dame of Mashmouche School in Lebanon. Again, kitchen equipment for the children and adults with autism, national autism community. Equipment for the science laboratory and Saint-Sauveur School in Lebanon. Equipment for the computer lab at the Foyer de la Providence School. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
Yes. So
I can say, if I'm allowed to say, that you are a very dynamic and energetic ambassador, and all your strength are just focused and based in our country. Thank you so much.
Thank you, because it's actually those projects were initiated by my colleagues from the embassy. I was not here yet, so I will pass on the good words.
To all your colleagues, if I'm allowed to extend my warm regards to the colleagues, the staff of the embassy of Poland to Lebanon. They are heroes.
Yes, but yes, indeed, those projects, I mean, what I like about the projects, as we call them small grants, is that you go directly to beneficiaries. You have contact with the beneficiaries. You can see how much impact and influence we have over their daily life. So, for example, you mentioned 2 centers for autism children and adults as well. I visited them few weeks ago, and it was very emotional for me as well to see how they can benefit from what we offer them, and how, in that sense, how we support them. And it's also important not to support beneficiaries like in once, let's say, that it's important to see to
diversify this basket of support.
Plus that it lasts a longer time. So, for example, the equipment of kitchen equipment in one of the centers, it will serve the kids in that center, so they can use the kitchen, they can learn, you know, how to cook, how to bake things, and actually they are very good, and they send us very often their products, and they are very tasty. So we can see how they improve, and also it gives them pride It gives them independence and self-esteem. This is very important.
Several millions of dollars were allocated since 2019 until current date, and Lebanon has been a priority for Poland in several assistance aid programs. Again, the the Polish aid development assistance was including UN Habitat, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me, you donated a good amount of money to
That's true. That's true. It was over $1 million.
How much?
Over $1 million, 1.5 million, and it was a joint project with UN Habitat, and we focused on Burj Hamud area, and what we did was it was a complex project, so
amazing. Wow.
We renovated some of the aisles, we provided electricity, we secured the sewage system, renovated shops and people's workshops. It was a very good project because it gave the whole area visible improvement. And actually 2 days ago I was there and I was talking to one of the beneficiaries, because as I mentioned before, for me it's very important to see how the project impacted their life. And I was talking to a lady who runs a small shop, and you can see that, you know, she could really feel the difference after.
They were enlightened. Huh?
Yes, yes. So it was very, very nice to see.
Personally, I call it a miracle. Shall we agree on that?
With pleasure.
Thank you so much. In a very short and concise way, for a brief translation. إذن يتمتع الشعب البولندي بشعور قوي بالفخر الوطني والصمود رغم التحديات. الرموز الوطنية تمثل الرموز الوطنية لبولندا، مثل النسر الأبيض والنشيد الوطني والعلم، هن تمثيلات قوية للهوية البولندية. المشاريع أو الرؤى الشخصية التي قامت بها سعادة سفيرة بولندا في لبنان وطاقمها في السفارة، مشاريع مساعدة إنمائية في لبنان وتعريف إنما هم جاهزون لتقديم الدعم للبنان. المشاريع التي قامت بها أيضا السفارة البولندية في لبنان، تخصيص عدة ملايين من الدولارات في الفترة الممتدة من 2019 لغاية 2025، وبذلك دعم رأس مال بشري، تحسين جودة التعليم، حماية البيئة، تحسين إدارة النفايات، زيادة الوصول إلى المياه والبنى التحتية الصحية. وأيضا تبرعت بولندا بأكثر من 1 مليون دولار أمريكي لبرنامج UN Habitat، والذي يهدف إلى تحسين ظروف المعيشة للسكان في منطقة برج حمود. وتعد هذه المساعدات الإنسانية التي تتقدم أو تقوم بها دولة بولندا من أهم المساعدات التي شهد عليها لبنان. وأيضا في عام 2024 تم تنفيذ 6 منح صغيرة من قبل السفارة: تركيب نظام ألواح شمسية، تركيب إضاءة في الملاعب العامة لكرة القدم في علي لبنان، تركيب نظام طاقة شمسية في مدرسة نوتردام في لبنان، معدات المطبخ للأطفال والبالغين المصابين بالتوحد، معدات مختبر العلوم في مدرسة سان سوفور، ومعدات مختبر الكمبيوتر في مدرسة Foyer de la Providence. Oh my God, I can't say that it was just a miracle. Thank you for all your efforts and the aids that you are providing for Lebanon. Excellency, Poland's role in the global economy, if you want to talk about the main or the major steps of Poland in the economy global or on the economic global level, what can you tell us how it's enhancing its position?
Poland is nowadays fifth economy in Europe. We are developing with a very, very fast pace. So indeed we have a very relatively good economic situation, and our especially young people, are very, let's say, very skilled in IT sector. We have a lot of startups and hubs, and Poland has great achievements in digitalization. This is amazing. Even if you compare it with other European member states, we are very much more advanced than many of them. So in Poland, everything is now digitalized, so it makes life very easy for citizens.
So it's a very important digital citizenship, if we should agree on that.
And I would like to also, for Lebanese people, because you are also very skilled in trade and commerce, so we would like you to see us as a potential market. Because of many reasons, as we mentioned before, we are at the crossroads. We are the best place almost in Europe to...
The main hub.
Yeah, main hub. So we could do many things together. And please consider Poland as a country that is really on the up. When we talk about the
so
economy.
For economic exchange, it's a call for the trader, Lebanese
Absolutely.
trader, to enhance
economic...
this relationship between economically
Yes, it has a lot of potential.
هناك نداء للاقتصاديين المحليين اللبنانيين لتوطيد أو لترسيخ العلاقة بين لبنان وبولندا بحسب ما تفضلت وتقدمت به سعادة سفير بولندا. About the medal parade at UNIFIL, I've seen your photo last time, and you had this great honor to participate in this medal parade. The soldier, the Polish soldiers in UNIFIL, they are giving a lot to Lebanon. Thanks to them. This is a warm, I extend again my warm regards to the UNIFIL soldiers. What can you tell us, Excellency?
Yes, we have been part of UNIFIL for several years. We have about 200 troops in the south. And indeed, our soldiers, of course, as a part of UN mission, they contribute to the stability, or they try to contribute to the stability of the south of Lebanon. And of course, the last year was very difficult for all of us and for them as well. They are very happy to serve in Lebanon, and we recently awarded them for their efforts with a medal granted by the Secretary General of the UN. But what is also unique about our soldiers is that they not only contribute to the stability, let's say security stability of their territory there, but they also support local communities. So they run separate development projects. They support, for example, local hospitals or local medical centers. They provide solar panels to different institutions in the south. And if I may say so, they are very good friends of the local communities there in the south. Amazing. So for me, it was very important to be there to appreciate their efforts, and they worked for Lebanon, but also for Poland, because also this is our mark that we live in the south of the country.
This is amazing. I have to translate this one because it's very important. حفل توزيع الميداليات باليونيفيل كانت سعادة السفيرة انه حضرت هالحفل التوزيع وشاركت فيه، والهوية الفريدة اللي بيتمتع فيها ضباط البولنديين في اليونيفيل هن مش عم بيساهموا فقط للاستقرار بلبنان، لحفظ الاستقرار بلبنان، انما بالمنطقة عفوا، إنما عم بيدعموا المجتمعات المحلية من خلال ترسيخ وتطوير مشاريع تنموية مهمة وإلى ما هنالك من المشاريع. This is very, very important, Excellency. By the end of our interview, first, Dr. Alexandra, thank you so much for your time joining us today. What is your message to the Lebanese audience?
That we share a lot of things in common, especially our history. We can say as Poland that it's very difficult sometimes, but if you are given a moment or a chance, as Lebanon is given now, please use it. And sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes you have to take very difficult and painful decisions. But don't give up and use this chance, because only later, maybe in some time it might take several years, but you will definitely benefit from it. So keep up your good process of changes, and never hesitate to take decisions which at that moment might seem sometimes difficult, as we have this experience in Poland. And Poland is ready to share this experience with you. If you need any support, we are ready.
Thank you so much, Excellency Ambassador of Poland
to
Lebanon, Dr. Alexandra. Until we meet again.
Of course, with pleasure.
Okay.
With pleasure. شكرا جوال.
شكرا.
Thank you.
فاصل صغير مشاهدينا ونرجع لكم.